what can government do? Because I would imagine initially there was quite a lot of pushback between the network operators and the concept of an MVNO as service providers here, and them being separate, and the network operators saying, yeah, but we spent all this money on the infrastructure, but now the MVNOs are here. What more can government do to enable MVNOs to offer these kind of innovative value plays, which really are about enabling the base of the pyramid through financial inclusion, through access to data? What more would you like to see government do in this space?
Well, they're not doing a lot. That's the other than regulating it and opening up the market for more competition, they're not doing much. And I'll try to give you a very short sort of summary of where the pain points are and the barriers are and what they should be doing. But essentially, government is awarded spectrum, to try and open up the market through the big operators having to fulfill a quota of mobile virtual network operators. For example, in some of the Arab states, the regulator there will say you have 2 mobile operators that are allowed to build a network, and you have 2 licenses, and you have 5, for example, or 4 MVNO licenses. And these guys can compete as fully fledged service providers, so that you're not only empowering the mobile network operators to control the market. So if you look at South Africa, it's an interesting model, because in the launch of mobile in 1994 in our country, you had about 12 service providers on different networks competing against the market, offering customers choice. And we went through a cycle where the mobile operators understood that they were just becoming a bit of a pipe and a bit of a carrier. So they acquire the customers, they control the customer base. So they control the market. And now what you're starting to see with service providers, which is really the modern MVNO, coming back to life with companies like ours, we enable them because we got the technology, is the reopening of the market with multiple brands actually offering connectivity to the public. So it's almost like a full, if it makes sense, turnaround of the service provider model coming back to life, where the commodity and the access to the market is no longer controlled by the mobile operators, who, by the way, have done an excellent job, because there's still private sector, no government sector is involved in it. It's one of the sectors that has not been penetrated by government with over regulation and so forth. So it performs very well. Yeah, it does quite well. Now, government doesn't do things like social services, education programs, digitizing the police force, digitizing the emergency services, the hospitals, the nurses, the schools. But they got spectrum for that, because government has got a certain amount of spectrum that they could work with multiple sectors of the market to digitize these government state-owned enterprises and so forth.
Could you imagine? But they don't. I mean, could you imagine if we could roll out digital classrooms to some of the poorest, most rural communities and schools, and how transformative that would be in terms of education, access to medical diagnostics. And we saw telemedicine through COVID. All of these things in terms of e-government could be really transformative. And sometimes I think we need to really raise our ambition.